Okay, here we are at dig number 3. So I found something very interesting and quite brilliant about this deck. Now, remember, we just went over Da'at in a little while back, and I was going through here to start this, and all of the emanations in the book are numbered. There are 11 emanations. But when you get to the end of them, it says the 10th and final emanation. This totally threw me when I started this video. So I had to stop it and explore what the heck was going on. So Da'at, the emptiness card, this one right here, has no number. It is a conduit. This is the emptiness emanation. So brilliantly, the creators of this deck, of which there are 2, and I think I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. I love to give credit where it's due. It's by Eli Manea and Peter Warbacher. So these creators, I just think that's really, really powerful that they did not name the void, the emptiness card. So now when you get your own deck, you'll know that, oh, okay, there really are 11 emanations. One of them's just not numbered. So let's go ahead and get on with the final 3 emanations. Hod, left leg, submission. The 8th emanation, the force that abides. Hod is what guides us when we surrender ourselves to the flow of fate and let destiny guide our motion. Through her light, we see the boundlessness of glory. Waving our hands through the wind, we feel the air pull us upward. It's only by resigning ourselves to the forces around us that we truly experience the nature of those forces. The golden orb shines a radiant light upon our shoulders. Supporting the pillar of severity, Hod does not press back against the weight of the tree. Instead, she simply lets it pass through her, flowing like water down into the lowest portion of the diagram. Through the 2 opposing characteristics of Hod and Netzah, relinquishing and resisting, we gain the power to move. Together they form the power to carry ourselves through the world with grace and intention. Now, the energy of Hod is in prayer, nature, and mysteries. So this card speaks to me of the art of allowing. And it's about, we're so trained in Western society to chase, and pursue all the things that we want and be really relentless about it. And but the training on the energetic end of allowing the things that we want into our life doesn't seem to happen. I have to, whenever I really want something and I want it to last, I want it to really be a part of me and my life, then I like to take the time out to mentally and emotionally align myself with the feelings and how I would be in my life if what I wanted I already had. You know what I'm saying? And people say this over and over again, but the most practical way that I can describe it is to open yourself up and allow the energy of what you want in your life to move into your body, into your soul, into your thoughts, into your emotions. And then once it's established within you, then it shows up on the outside, you see? Because that's why so many people win the lottery and they're broke 5 years later, because they never did take the time to practice the art of allowing, the art of transitioning ourselves into that state of mind of which we are trying, whatever we are trying to accomplish. Another thing that this really speaks highly to me about is, it's got here, the energy of prayer, nature, and mysteries. When I go into nature, my main goal is to have nature transform me. I don't want to go in and transform nature. I want to go into nature and get quiet and allow nature to change me instead of the other way around. And with that, I get so many amazing gifts. I get the gift of peace. I get the gift of tranquility. I get the gift of fresh air and beautiful landscapes. I get the gift of opening up my imagination. You know, all these things happen when I hike, and it's an incredible gift. Now, the prayer part of it, I love spirit. I am an absolute praying woman. I don't consider myself religious. I consider myself to have a very powerful and loving connection with spirit. And spirit speaks to me in all different kinds of ways. And I've been in this practice of the art of listening for a long time now. And the art of listening, when I say that, and I talk a lot about it on this channel, is that we listen with all of us. We listen with our ears, all of our 5 senses. We also listen with our 6th sense. We listen when we see body language. Listening encompasses everything. It encompasses hearing spirit speak through the people around us. It encompasses getting messages through movies, billboards, books, music, all of those things. You can get information from spirit coming to you in so many miraculous creative ways. So I like to call it the art of listening, and Hod completely brings this energy to life. One of the most powerful things I have learned that I can do in this life, as far as an action I can take, is the power of listening. And it's such a passive action, and it's such a subtle energy that we mistakenly believe, I said that word weird, we mistakenly believe that talking is more important than listening, but we were given 1 mouth and 2 ears for a reason, right? I was not clever enough to come up with that, but we truly were given 1 mouth and 2 ears. So, you know, to use the 1 mouth to speak, and to speak into creation those things which we want, but more importantly, to use our 2 ears and all of our other senses. Spirit is constantly speaking to us in so many ways that are not verbal. So I think I've really got my point across about that. And then the mysteries. You know, this channel is called The Spiritual Archaeologist because I love to dig up treasures. I love to unravel mysteries. I love to move within mysteries and not understand it intellectually, like prayer. Prayer is one of those things that I have perfect understanding of what's going on through my heart, but I have absolutely no clue of what's going on intellectually. And to allow that is the spirit of Hod, to be within a mystery and not understand how the mystery works, but yet still be able to participate within the mystery and benefit from the mystery. So one of my favorite cards after reading it, what a powerful, and she looks so scary. She looks like something right out of The Walking Dead in the photo, in the image, not the photo. But the message here is just so profound. So let's move on to the next now. Yesod, root connection. Oh, is this card not phenomenal? I adore this card. I just want to be in the presence of this being. I just want to stand there and be in the presence. Okay, here's the book now. The 9th Emanation. the foundation that supports the world and forms the gateway between the spiritual and the physical. Yesod is the medium through which we experience the tree of life. Upon his shoulders rests the sky, and all that lies beyond it runs through his fingers. We stand at this doorway and peer through, seeking answers to our nature. Through the indigo orb, a gateway appears. As a single column again, the flow of energy through the tree only moves downward. Yesod is the last stop before moving into the fully physical realm. He is the looking glass through which we examine ourselves. Now the energy of Yesod is found in new life, speech, and a doorway. So this deck never ceases to astound me. I've had a theory for a very long time concerning alcoholism and drug addiction. And that theory goes like this. This is the perfect, appropriate time to share it with you. I think alcoholics and addicts have such a very difficult time transitioning to the limits of the physical realm. When we are born into these bodies, we make this transition that this entire deck speaks of, which just amazes me. And I think that drug addicts and alcoholics, when we're in between lives, we experience, like everybody else, we experience complete bliss and limitlessness. There are no bounds in the non-physical realm. And then we are born into a human body, a physical body. And when we get that first taste of alcohol or that first effect of a drug, it touches that. It completely creates a crack for us to feel that limitlessness and that freedom and that complete, it's just that complete nirvana, that blissful time, that blissful space where I'm having trouble talking, where we are not bound by the limitations of the physical. That's what I'm trying to say. And so then when that happens, we end up having all of this drug addiction and alcoholism because, whoa, all these people found a way to touch that nirvana, to touch that in-between space, and to have that limitless feeling. So to me, this is about I am a sober person. I actually just celebrated 16 years of sobriety. So this topic is very close to home for me. And I have always struggled in the land of the limitation. But in sobriety, now that I'm a sober person, I really relish all of the gifts of the physical. And that's what this talks about. We don't leave our spiritual life behind when we come into the physical. We bring it with us. But it's so hard to remember that it's there because we're dealing with limitations, illness, all those things. We're dealing with fear, we're dealing with anger, we're dealing with all of the limitations that come. And then what happened to me is I started to really appreciate, I love to do artwork, and I started to really love my art supplies. And then I started to think about all the other things in the physical world that I love. I love coffee, I love lobster, I love crab legs, I love salad, I love raspberry vinaigrette. I mean, we could go on and on and on with the list of things that we love in this life. Now, to be in between lives, we don't have access to any physical expression or any physical experience. So when we come here, then we get access to all of those things. And it's so sad to me because so often we mistake we only focus on the limitations and the illness and the handicaps and all the can'ts, right, when we're in the physical life. But if we would just flip that, just flip it and start focusing on, because I will come back here for coffee alone, okay? I'm coming back just for coffee. When we start focusing on all of the benefits we get from being here, then both experiences become this well-rounded, incredible existence for us. And another thing that we do when we're moving out of the physical, back up the tree, and into the spiritual, meaning when our physical body dies, our culture makes this such a dark and terrible thing, which upsets me greatly, because the fact of the matter is, every single person, every single living creature dies. So of course it's sad and it's painful. It's excruciatingly painful. And I understand that and I experience that. But at the same time, it's that spirit being reborn into a new life, just like they were born into this life. And I have had enough contact with spirits after they have crossed over to know that when we die, it does not stop the lines of communication. It does not stop the love. It does not stop the connection that we have with that spirit. And I'm from the school of thought that we come back again and again, and I invite you to read Brian Weiss. He is a trailblazer in past life regression work. He's I don't want to get it wrong. I want to say psychiatrist. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Brian. But the thing about Brian Weiss is he talks about how we come back into these bodies and we are reconnected with soulmates that we've had in previous lives. And sometimes we come back in groups of people so that we don't lose the connection. And it just breaks my heart that we are not taught this in our culture. We are taught that when somebody dies, that's it. They either go to heaven or hell and it's over. Well, that has not been my experience at all. My mom died 25 years ago, and I speak with her today. And by speaking with her, I mean that I will talk to her and then I will listen, like I said in the last card. And she always answers because she's flowing in the energy of spirit, and so she has all of creation and all of communication to work with. Okay, they lose their vocal cords, but they do not lose their they don't lose their personality, their core personality. We get stripped of all the fear and all the crap when we leave, but we keep the core personality. From the work I've done, this is what I've found. We keep this core personality. So our loved ones that are gone are still able to communicate with us, and we just simply need to learn to listen. But we are in the land of the living, and that's what Yesod speaks to me about. Yesod speaks to me about, okay, you're here. What do you love about being here? What is going to give you the full experience of being in the physical? What's painful? What's blissful? What's nirvana? What's limiting? We have all of this range of experiences to have in the physical, and the energy of Yesod to me is inviting us to fully experience this while we're here. Okay, so I really went off there, but I feel very passionate about this, and one of my favorite cards of this entire deck. So let's go ahead and move on to the final emanation now. Malkuth, ground the kingdom. What an amazing card, isn't that just really different? The 10th and final emanation, the physical world in which we live, the domain of mankind. Malkuth is an emanation of emanations, the culmination of the many aspects that form the tree of life. Everything from our bodies to the experiences we have in them to the world in which we exist is Malkuth. The infinite space that expands across the universe is a manifestation of her. The boundless prismatic orb holds all the colors of the universe. At the feet of the tree, the ground stretches outward, forming a base. This is the space where Malkuth exists. She is beyond just being the lowest point. She is the foundation itself, being the thing that we experience every moment in our lives. Malkuth contrasts clearly with Keter, whose existence is marked by its total unknowability. As with all things in the tree, one mirrors the other, forming a complete continuum through which we can understand the boundaries of existence. Now, the energies found in Malkuth are the earth, our bodies, and home. So, this whole 11 emanations damn near just brings me to tears, the powerfulness of it. Okay, so Malkuth is the completion to me of the transition of us moving from the spirit realm into the physical realm. And I don't necessarily see us, we have this idea of hierarchy in our minds. Like we grow spiritually and we move upward. I don't necessarily see it that way. I kind of see it like, okay, this lifetime, you could be a really rich, powerful, influential person and have like no worries for food or shelter, any of that. And then your very next life, that same person could be a prostitute, a destitute, drug-addicted prostitute. And neither lifetime is more or less valuable than the other because you've got amazing insights from being rich and powerful and influential and not having to worry about things like food and clothing and shelter. And then in this other life over here as a prostitute, and I'm just picking it to have a really huge contrast, okay? The life as a prostitute, you get a great understanding of what it's like to need and not have, to need that shelter, to need that food, to need that clothing, to need those drugs, to be willing to sacrifice your very body in order to get the things that are going to make you survive, and drugs being included in that because some people die when they quit. I mean, we're not going to go off on that tangent, but the point of it is that to me, we don't reach these higher, more advanced levels of spirituality. It's more like we move around and we gain all of this spiritual wisdom from all of these different lifetimes, and we're able to gather all of this knowledge and carry it with us, because I really believe that we are drops in the ocean of this life. And what's amazing is at the very beginning of this, when I read in the book, it talks about that tiny drop. And I have been contemplating these things for years. And when I found this deck and started reading it, it rocks my soul to the core, because it speaks to everything I've been experiencing. And I want to bring it out into the light. And I want anybody and everybody who can get their hands on this information that I am presenting and that others are presenting, I want us to have it. And, it's funny because here I am in the land of the physical. I've invited a number of my friends to check out this channel and to view this channel, and I'm getting nothing. I have asked a couple people to watch these videos, and I haven't even gotten a response from them. And I'm at this place where it's like, okay, am I going to move forward, or I'm actually past that place? Now I'm in a place of, I don't give a damn who I talk to that doesn't access these videos and this channel. I'm going to keep going because I have to. Okay, I have stepped into the onto the path of creation and onto the path of being aligned with my higher power, with which I choose to call spirit. I have stepped onto this pathway, and I have asked to be a tool of a channel for this spirit to work through me. And when I asked that, I meant it, and I thought long and hard about it, okay? And so now here I am in the physical, and I am going to take everything that I have in this physical life, and I'm gonna share it, and I'm gonna push it out to the world, because that's what's being requested of me. And this work is so important. And I have 15 of you now, and I thank each and every one of you for catching the spark that I lit and subscribing to this channel. And I hope that you share this. I really hope that you share this, because I'm going to be doing things on this channel that are of benefit to us as people in the physical, with a spiritual life intact, being all blended together as one being, okay? And I'm just gonna bring my perspective to it, and I invite any of you who are on this same path to do what I'm doing. And know this, when nobody's looking and nobody cares and nobody's saying anything good about what you're doing, just get to a place inside of yourself, no matter what it is you're doing, whatever your dream is. If you run into this, I'm going to tell you that when you're at this point where nobody gives a damn about what you're doing, that's when you're really onto something, because that's when the rubber meets the road. This is the time in my life where I have a choice. Do I turn back because I'm not getting attention, or do I move forward because it's not about attention? So you see, the attention is tied to the ego. This work is not about feeding my ego. It is about being a voice to our species. That's what this is about for me. And I am just a conduit. It's not about me, okay? It's about me using my voice, which I wish it was better. But it's about me using my voice to convey what I'm learning on a spiritual level and to bring it here. So there is our final emanation, and I'm so very excited for you to come back for dig number 4, and we are going to dig right into the angels.